So is the Singapore aviation sector still on a path to recovery, right? Is it still on track? Can we actually head higher now that things are a little bit more certain? Hey guys, Joby here, top tier MySdale and trader in Phillip Securities and chief trainer at Trading Impossible, right? So in today's video, right, we'll dive into these two main stocks in the aviation sector, and that would be Singapore Airlines and also SATS Services. I think all of you would know these two companies, and they were hit badly due to the current situation just last year. But over the past few months, it seems like we have stabilized, and of course, we have seen some new developments coming in, and that's where we started to see the prices reacting strongly, right? So in today's video, we'll take a look at these two stocks, right? Singapore Airlines and SAT. We'll look at the news that came out over the past 1 to 2 months before we dive into the chart to see where are we and also what are some of the targets that have formed. And so we will even dive into the system that I have to see what it says. And we actually had some new good bullish signals coming out over the past couple of weeks, right? So if you don't know what are these stocks doing, can they actually be more upside in the recovery, and we are still on the way to recovery, make sure you stay and watch this video all the way to the end, because I think you're going to like what I got for you. So we're actually seeing strength in this aviation sector over the past 1 to 2 months because the Singapore government has launched what we call vaccinated travel lanes, right? It means that those who are vaccinated will be able to travel to like certain countries, and SIA Group has since reported like an uptick in demand in September due to launch of this VTL, vaccinated travel lanes, right? Look at it right over here. And I think last month in September, there were 2 countries that were launched first, which is like Germany and Brunei. We have a lot of people kind of like booking flights to Germany as well to travel, after being holed up at home over the past 1 to 2 years. And just recently, I think just about more than a week back, we have opened up to more countries, but this is where we are. Look at this right here. So Brunei and Germany on September 8, which allowed eligible travelers quarantine-free travel into the country. So this resulted in an uptick in demand, especially to Germany in September 2021. So we are seeing some good numbers reported by SIA, right, in terms of the passenger load factors, the capacity and all that, which are slowly picking up, which is a good thing, and that's why we are seeing some strength in the stock itself, right? So later we look at the chart, not to worry, but let me just go ahead to share with you a bit more. At the end of September, the group passengers network covered like 65 destinations, all right, and yeah, look at this right here. So Singapore extended its VTL arrangement to 9 more countries in October. So slightly more than a week back, we have kind of like expanded it to more countries. Like we'll serve a total of like 17 cities, and that's where like South Korea, UK, US, and Canada is as well. So this further supports the safe and gradual recovery in international air travel and through Singapore. So that's a good news, and that's where when they announced this news, like to open up to more countries just slightly more than a week back, we saw like the prices of SIA and even SATS Services jump up by like more than 3 to 5%. So people have been asking me what do I think, is it like still on a path to recovery, or the fact that we have gone up last week on this news, you might see a bit of profit taking and might come back down again, right? So not to worry, we'll dive into the charts for these two companies. We look at SIA first before we look at SATS and see where we are and where can we potentially head to. So this is SIA, Singapore Airlines, right here. So before I dive into the charts, guys, I would appreciate you can give me an early thumbs up. It will definitely help out the channel, and thank you so much for doing this, right? So SIA right here trading at about $5.53. You can see that over the past like 1 year plus, right, we have kind of like formed a bit of a bottom. I mentioned it in my previous video as well. There were some signs of the trend turning from like a downtrend, right, to something like an uptrend, and this is pretty much still in an uptrend. We're still on a path to recovery. For those of you who are asking if like can we actually hit higher, more upside and all that, I would say that right now it is still showing signs of an uptrend, and pretty much we have turned from a downtrend to an uptrend somewhere around like January, February, March, right? Saw the trend turn up. Look at this right here. This is a red line, the 100 days moving average pointing up. We have kind of like crossed back above the blue line. So they've kind of like put it back into what we call an ideal mid to long term uptrend. You can see prices kind of like hitting all the way to a high of like $4, $3, $4. It went out to like about $5.80, and then we tanked down due to the Delta variant that came out somewhere in like April, or it kind of like came all the way down to like 440 and managed to find a bit of support, and we were actually consolidating here. But as we consolidate here, you can see that the uptrend in the longer term was still pretty much intact, right? So let's take a look at where we are right now. So let me just go to draw what we call an upward sloping, this is what we call an upward sloping channel support line here, connecting the lows, forming higher lows. So you can see that over the past 1 year, we have been forming what we call higher lows, which shows that buyers are pretty much prepared to come in to buy again at higher prices. So that's a good thing in terms of the trend slowly forming up. But in the short term, of course, we went up, came down, consolidated. So in the short term, it can go up and down, but in the long term, I think it still looks good for a recovery to gradually take place, right? So let me just zoom in to what happens over the past 5 to 6 months. So what happens was, over the past 5 to 6 months, we were actually consolidating in the short term. So long term was looking good, as I say, but short term, we were actually consolidating from May, all right, to October, from $4.80 to that $5.20 level. Let me just go to draw this for you right here. That was pretty much the range, right? 480 to about $5.20. It's up, down, up, down, up, down, and this was pretty much where we were. And the thing is, when the government announced these new measures, right, in terms of launching vaccinated travel lanes to more countries, another 11 more countries, that was where we saw a gap up right here by more than 5%, all the way up from below that 520 resistance level to about $5.52, right? So it seems like now that would be the range right over here. So let me just remove this rectangle for you to explain to you what I mean. So as I say, $5.20 was a major resistance level. We have been kept below, you can see, since May. You can see touch, came down, a bit of bearish candle right over here, came down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, more than 5 to 6 times it came down, and but it didn't go down all the way, right? It went down to somewhere around 480, and then buyers started to bargain hard, and that was where it rebounded, and that was where we formed what we call an upward sloping channel support line as well, right? But the key here is that when news was announced whereby we open up more countries, I think it was a positive for SIA, and that's where we broke this $5.20 resistance level, and that's where we can actually revise our targets higher to the previous high, and the resistance would be about $5.80. Look at this, right? $5.80, which was pretty much where we were in April, March. You can see we'll touch around here, and then we sold off when the Delta variant hit us, and the rest of the world sold off all the way again. But you can see the fact that we went above the 520, this would now be the support level. So it was originally the resistance level, but now it's turned support. And I would say right now, the path to recovery still really looks intact. So I mentioned in my previous video that this counter looks good in terms of the long term, in terms of the trend. It will take a while, all right, it takes a while, but this is more of a long-term play, more like a recovery play, whereby you want to buy to hold to really see prices slowly recovering. When the situation that we are in now slowly improves, the more and more countries open up, people can travel freely, people can just book a flight and go for holiday more freely. That would definitely help the entire aviation sector and also the hospitality sector as well. Alright, so this is SIA support wise about $5.20. In fact, over the past 1-2 weeks, we can actually go ahead to draw another support line right here. Look at this, right? So a bit of support that came out slightly higher, not 520, but a bit higher at about $5.40. So it's 540 to about 580. That is pretty much the range right now, about a 40 cents range. So we might actually consolidate in this range, hopefully hit up to 580, attempt to break above, maybe see a bit of profit taking around here. And if we do break that 580, that is where we can potentially see a bit more upside coming in, all the way from 580 to maybe the $6.50 level, pretty much back to where we were in 2019, right? So this is SIA right here. For those of you who have been asking me about whether the recovery is still on track, is it time to buy? Did you miss the recovery? I would say not really miss. I mean, of course, best if you have got in last year when there were talks about vaccine and the recovery really started to happen. But right now, we can actually still be on the path to recovery. It's not like you have missed it, all right? It can still be ongoing in the next few months, next year, 2 years, 3 years. That is where we will still see a gradual recovery as long as some of those good supports that I talk about are holding, right? So this is SIA right here, support wise about $5.40. So we actually had some good bullish signals coming in on my GT, right? One Good Trend System, which kind of like guides us on entry and exit. So let's dive into the system to see what it says for SIA. Okay, so this is SIA right here on my One GT, One Good Trend System, whereby we have a couple of like entry and exit signals going to guide us when to get in and when to get out, right? So I will not go too far, but you can see somewhere around here, this was where the current situation that we are in happened. You can see right here there was like a bearish signal, and SIA really sank down all the way from like $6 all the way to like maybe about $4. And of course there were some rights issue that were done as well to kind of raise capital and all that. So there was this is kind of like adjusted for the rights issue, right? So but a couple of bearish signal you can see over the past last year, since like March all the way to somewhere around November. You can see a red arrow pointing down right here, went down, red arrow pointing, and somewhere around here you can see this bar started to turn from like a red bar, which is like a downtrend, to a bit of a green bar. Alright, a bit of a green bar right here, and that was where you started to see the trend turning from a downtrend to an uptrend. So quite a good signal right here in February 2021, really good move all the way up. And then of course we got the Delta variant that hit us, we got the exit, came all the way down, and we got like a new bullish signal. It was started to consolidate right here. Alright, so this is where we are right now. Let me just go to zoom in for you, so you can see that just about last month on the 23rd of September, right, 23rd of September right here, we actually had like a new bullish signal. We actually had like a new bullish signal coming out. All right, and right now you can see there's no exit. We saw a gap up, of course, when the news was announced of more countries being added to the vaccinated travel list. So we kind of like saw a bit of a gap up right here, and we are about $5.55 now, right? So yeah, this is what the system said, right? So we actually had like a new bullish signal here. There are still no exits, so as I say, we can actually still see a bit more upside. We might potentially hit towards the $5.80 level, which I talked about just now. That's where we might actually see some profit taking coming back again. It might consolidate below for a while before hopefully attempting to break that level, and we break that 580. I think that's where this bullish signal can continue to play out, and we want to see when an exit might come out to kind of like guide us to take some profit to get out as well. Okay, so this is SATS Services right here, and yes, we also saw quite a good move up over the past 1 to 2 weeks on the news of this vaccinated travel lanes, right? So SATS trading at about $4.37 right here. So I kind of like done a video on this as well. I mentioned that yeah, we are still pretty much on a path to recovery. In the longer term, it looks still okay. All right, and we can also draw what we call an upward sloping. Look at this right here, very nice upward sloping channel support line right here, kind of like touches about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Prices holding above this line, so that's where it put it as a really good uptrend. All right, and over the past like I would say 5 to 6 months, I mentioned about this in the previous video as well, we were pretty much kept below this resistance level at the $4.20. So this is $4.20. You can see it was originally the support level, and of course when the Delta variant hit, we broke the 420, went all the way down. All right, went all the way down. You can see, but it found a bit of support at 360, went up, came back down, went up, came back down, and the support level at 420 turned to like a resistance. So 420, a firm resistance, but as we approach this level, let me just go to like draw this line for you. As we approach this level, we can kind of like zoom it in a bit deeper. Right here, you can see right here. So yeah, as we kind of like approach this $4.20 resistance level, this is what we call higher lows. That means buyers are prepared to come back out to buy at higher prices. The prices didn't really like went back down to like the previous low at 360, and it went to like 380, it rebounded. This time it went to like 390, it rebounded. So each time it's like a 10 cents, a bit higher by 10 cents, and it started to rebound again. So that's a good sign as we approach this $4.20 resistance. Of course, when the news came out just like about a week back, we finally broke this $4.20 resistance level. So this resistance will now become like the support. So let me just change this red line to green in color right here. So pretty much back to like where we were, all right, in March, in somewhere in April as well. You can see this was pretty much the range. So I would say right now this would be the upside targets for SATS Services from 420 all the way to about the $4.60, right? Why 460? This was the high we have seen, as I say, somewhere in March before we came down, and this could potentially be the upside right now to about 460. And of course, 460, something like SIA, we are seeing a bit of resistance, at a certain level. That was the previous high, and if we do break this $4.60, that would be a good thing. We might actually see a bit more upside all the way to like $5, or maybe even the $5.20, which was the previous high in 2019. Okay, so this is SATS Services. It looks quite good, as I say, right? The uptrend in the mid to long term, look at this, the moving averages were pretty much consolidating because it was like moving sideways over the past 4 to 5 months. But over the past like 1 to 2 weeks, they have started to point back up again. The green line above both the blue and the red. And you can see this red line is slowly sloping up, and eventually if it crosses back above the blue line, that would be a good thing. You kind of like put it as an ideal longer term uptrend. So right now, I think if you were to hold above that 420, yeah, eventually this red line will go up and cross above the blue line, and that's where the uptrend is even firmer, right? That's where we can potentially see a bit more upside to that 460 first, right? So this is SATS Services. Looks quite good in terms of the recovery, and that's one of those stocks whereby you can also think about riding, right, to getting in, right, to kind of like ride the recovery for the entire aviation sector, which could take years, right? It's not like a few months or few weeks. It will take like 1, 2, 3, or maybe 5 years to fully see a recovery back to where we were before 2020, before this whole entire situation that we are in happened. Okay, so this is SATS. So let's take a look at what it says on my 1GT system as well. Same thing like SIA. What does it say for SATS? Are there any bullish signal? Let's take a look right now. Okay, so this is SATS here on my 1GT, One Good Trend system, and yeah, not too far. I would say somewhere around here. That was where we got a really good bullish signal somewhere in November, right? November, 4th of November, we got a bullish signal. It went from like what, 310 to about 420, a bit of an exit, came down slightly, and a couple of good bullish signal went up, and then of course that's where we saw an exit and prices started to come down, and a bit of a bearish signal. You can see as we consolidated, a bit of a weakness here, came down slightly, but this is where we are. So let me just zoom in for you where we are right now. So same thing somewhere around September, on the 21st of September, somewhere around like SIA as well. We did had like a new 1GT bullish signal, like a green arrow pointing up. You can see that the trend has kind of like turned from red to a bit of a green color. So in terms of the uptrend, forming a bit more firmly in the long term, of course in the short term as well. As I say, the short term was like consolidating for the past 5-6 months, but now over the past like 1 month plus, the uptrend seems to be like forming up a bit more firmly, all right, in the short and also the longer term. So yes, we had like a new bullish signal right here, 21st September, started to push up. It kind of like broke, as I say, the 420 right here, and now we are like a 435, right? So yes, that would be the signal right here. Potential upside, as I mentioned, maybe to like 460, the previous high, and we might see a bit of profit taking. I'm not too sure if we actually see an exit then, but if it does, it can actually help us or guide us to get out. If it does break the 460, even better. I think that's where we might see a bit more upside, and hopefully we see like an exit signal for us to exit as well, right? So this is set here. We had like a new 1GT bullish signal. There are no exits, so overall, as I say, the recovery still looks on track, pretty much still somewhere near the beginning. There's still a lot of room to go over the next few years, and this is same thing like SIA, one of those stocks whereby you want to think about getting in as well to really fully ride the recovery. Okay guys, so there we have it. We have covered pretty much 2 stocks in the Singapore aviation sector, and that would be Singapore Airlines and SATS Services. So I hope now you kind of like understand what are some of the news that have came out over the past 1 to 2 months, and why are we seeing like some strength coming back in the aviation sector. And of course, these 2 stocks in terms of the technical level, some of the key horizontal support and resistance level, what's the range right now. I hope you now have a clearer picture and you more or less know what to do and where we can potentially see a bit of profit taking coming back again, right? So this is Joby here. I hope you like this video, and guys, if you want to find out a bit more on the entire framework, or maybe like the system which I showed you guys, what does this system means, how do we actually get this system, the whole entire One Good Trend framework behind the system, what you can do is to attend one of those free webcasts that I'm still running. Alright, go ahead to click on the link below the video. I'll probably put the link below this video. Attend one of those free webcasts to find out a bit more, and also understand maybe how you could actually have access to this system as well, right? So I hope you like this video. Joey here, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to see you in the next video, and let me know in the comments below what are your thoughts on these 2 companies, right? SIA and SATS. Do you think there could actually be more upside, or is the recovery actually still on track? I mean, especially for those of you who are in the aviation or the hospitality sector, let me know your thoughts on these 2 counters as well, and if we are indeed like seeing some good numbers coming in. Joey here, I'll see you soon.